Cześć, witajcie serdecznie w kolejnym, drugim odcinku z gry Moebius. Coś tam, coś tam. Przyjęliśmy ostatnio zlecenie. Chyba ze strażnikiem muszę pogadać.
Mr. Dexter said you have plane tickets for me?
Yes, sir. Have a good trip, sir.
Thank you.
Trochę ręce mu nie działają.
Looks like I've taken care of everything here. I should head to the airport for my trip to Venice.
Okay. Czyli mapa. Na lotnisko. I lecimy do Wenecji. I tam musimy
I
sprawdzić.
started a dossier on Bianca Cardello based on the information Dexter sent me. I should start there. I should call Detective Brunetta.
Ono w wieku 21 lat przez powiększenie. A? Tak. I zadzwońmy do niej. Okej, dzwonię.
Pronto, Detective Brunetta.
Buongiorno. This is Malachi Rector. I need to speak with you about the death of Bianca Cardello.
I was told to expect your call. Meet me at 425 alla Due Colonne. That's the site of the murder.
Thank you. I'll see you there.
Okej. Miejsce zbrodni. Kliknij się. Super. To chyba jest detektyw. Tak, tu gdzie macham. Tak, to jest detektyw. Może go zanalizujmy najpierw. Jak mu? Zaczerwienione oczy. Stuje rany. No powiedzmy, że jest pracocholikiem, nie? Dobra, żołądek. Wzdęty brzuch. Myślę, że się stresuje. Zbrodnia bada te sprawy. Jara. Woli, aby nie jeść. No to by nie miał takiego. Odstresowuje się. Wiem, sam paliłem, także... Zniszczu. Żebyś tak... Czyli ostatnio się zestresował bardziej. Rozmawiajmy z nim. O, rozmawiamy. Mamy też trochę racji.
Are you Detective Brunetta?
That is correct. Mr. Rector?
Yes.
I've been told to answer any questions you have about the death of Bianca Cardello. I can't say I understand why.
Well, I'm glad to know where you stand, Detective. Let's get started, if you don't mind.
Na chwilę się wyciszę.
It's always good to know your source. You won't mind telling me something about yourself?
That depends on what you want to know.
This is a high-profile case, isn't it? You've been working on it around the clock.
That's right. Never lets you go, a case like this. And what is your stake in it, Rector?
I'm not trying to find her killer. I just need information.
Okej, jestem.
And you're a luckier man than I. But if you mean you'll stay out of my way, then I'm glad for it.
You've been a detective for a long time. 20 years at least.
That's right. Someone told you about me?
Your experience is obvious.
I will take that as a compliment.
Do you know the Cardello family personally?
Pytamy go o
I'm
wszystko.
not a part of that high
Co ci
society,
powiem?
even if I had the time to have a social life, which I don't.
You said you were told to answer my questions. Can I ask by whom?
You don't know?
I'm not in the habit of asking questions I know the answer to.
I was told it came from a mayor's office. You were hired by Senor Cardolo, perhaps?
I can't tell you who hired me.
I see. I suppose I'll just have to keep my guesses to myself.
Tell me about Bianca Cardillo.
She was a popular figure in Venice. Everyone knew her. She was even named the most beautiful woman in the city several years ago. The public wants her killer found, and so do I.
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's murder.
Ja,
We know she was followed while walking home from a concert. She ran. The killers caught up with her here where we're standing. They hanged her from this bridge.
Sounds familiar. In fact, I read that much in the papers.
I can't read your mind, Mr. Hector. If you have questions, ask them.
She was walking home from a concert alone?
Yes, her husband is a very busy man. As I understand, she often attended artistic events without him.
Tutaj miał wszystkie
Was she
może-
robbed? Molested?
No, her purse fell into the canal. We retrieved it. Her money and credit cards were all there. Her jewelry was untouched.
Na
There
pewno
were
coś
no signs
zostawili
of
w tym
rape.
kanale.
Were there any witnesses?
No one came forward, even after Senor Cardolo put out a personal request.
Do you have any leads on the killers?
No. If you want my opinion, such as it is, they were professionals. They left no physical evidence on the bridge or on the body. Even the rope was generic.
Tell me about the Cardolo family.
Rodzina
Dante Cardolo, her husband, is extremely wealthy and a very important man in
Nie
local
więcej faktów
politics.
musimy mieć, żeby
Well
analizę
respected man,
przeprowadzić.
for good reason.
Dobrą.
Her father, Venetian royalty. It would be difficult to find a more distinguished bloodline anywhere in Italy. This crime has all of Venice in shock, and we have no leads. We haven't found anyone who would want to hurt her.
And yet, someone did.
Yes, if you want my opinion, her family had nothing to do with it. But that begs the question, eh? Who did?
Those are all the questions I have,
Kończymy sobie
Detective.
Maybe
rozmowę.
someday I'll know what this was all about, eh?
I doubt it. Even I don't know what it's all about. But I wish you luck in finding Bianca's killer.
I'll need more than wishes. Arrivederci, Mr. Hector.
Arrivederci.
Zobaczmy kanał.
There's something on the bottom of the canal. Could it have fallen from Bianca's purse?
Okej, coś jest. Coś tam jest, tak jak mówiłem na pewno zestawieniu. Budynki. Idzie do mapy. Budynki i mamy drzwi. Drzwi zazwyczaj dobrze wróżą. Przepraszam. Jakieś mam koszele.
Pardon, Signora. May I have a word with you?
Yes? What can I do for you?
No, to jest świetne. Czy mogę z panią porozmawiać? Tak, pewnie i pójdź sobie. Czy jest... A, okej, ona wyjdzie. Kobieta. Przeanalizujmy ją. Raczej w koku nie ukrywa narkotyków. Raczej nie chce być cudowna, więc powiedzmy, że jest emerytowaną nauczycielką. Zgrubienia na palcach. No jest, skoro jest nauczycielką, to na pewno nie pracuje w fabryce produkującej tarcze. Może być kompulsywne pocieranie palców, ale... A może gra jako nauczycielka. Przecierane ubranie. Nie do win. Niskie przychody. Winna jest. Kina. Dotykasz się... To mi się wydaje... Tak... pasowałoby. Dobra, no porozmawiamy z nią teraz.
Yes, signore. What can I do for you?
Trochę Sherlock nie? Sobie.
Is this your home, Signora? It's lovely.
Ah, grazie. It's been in my family for 4 generations.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Malachi
Przedstawmy
Rector.
się ładnie.
Buonasera, signore. I am Caterina Falone.
I noticed that you seem nervous, Signora.
You would be nervous too if unspeakable things happened just outside your front door. I do not wish to talk about it.
I would like to speak with you about the murder, Signora.
Spróbujmy.
No,
Może
I'm
akurat.
sorry. I won't speak about that. I already said as much to the police.
But I am not the police. You can talk to me.
I don't know you, signore. And it is too terrible to talk about. No,
Thank you for speaking with me, Signora.
it was a pleasure to speak with such a fine gentleman. Arrivederci.
Mam tutaj jakiś wykrzyknik. To nowe rzeczy w tym.
I believe that's a younger photo of Signora Filone, the woman who lives near the site of Bianca's murder. She's wearing a Venetian Murano glass necklace. I don't recall seeing it on her when we met.
Dobra. To co? Spieprzamy stąd, nie? Mapa. Wejdźmy do ich domu.
Come in, Mr. Rector. Please, sit down.
Thank you, Signor Condelo. I'm sorry to intrude at a time like this.
I've been asked to speak with you, and that request came directly from the U.S. Embassy.
Impressive.
What interest does the United States have in my wife's murder? Do you think it was a terrorist act? Why would they want to hurt Bianca?
I don't have the answers, Signore. I'm still investigating.
Very well. I've already been over everything with the police a dozen times.
Okej, wypytamy go o wszystko.
I'll do what I can to help
Będziemy
you.
mieli więcej rzeczy do analizy.
It would help me to know more about you.
Very well.
Was Bianca your first wife?
See, I worked hard all my life, and I'm not ashamed to say, I enjoyed my youth. But a man who wishes to accomplish certain things in life needs a wife. Bianca was everything I needed. She had beauty, style, connections. I doubt I will ever find her equal.
Znajomości. No spoko.
Tell me about your work.
Gdzie pracuje?
I am consigliere of Venice. I used to practice law, but for now my focus is exclusively on politics. Venice is struggling, as is all of Italy. It will take the best of all of us to save her, if we can.
Tell me about Bianca.
What would you like to know?
Did your wife play piano?
No, she was quite musical, but she preferred dance. She was in a classical dance company before we were wed.
Okej, to jest
As
jakaś...
for the piano, Bianca loved to entertain, and music was always a part of such evenings.
How did you meet Bianca?
Mamy fakty. Jest
Bianca's
13 do
family is one of the
zebrania.
most influential
Więc
in
jeśli
all of
będziemy
Italy.
wydawać wszystkich,
I have
to
known her
może...
father for many years. I
Może
watched
uda nam się
Bianca
dobrze
mature.
zanalizować
She
i
was the
będzie
perfect
spoko.
politician's wife. She loved meeting people and doing philanthropic work. I knew she would make the perfect wife for a man of my ambitions. Fortunately, her father agreed, and I was able to convince her to marry me, even though she was quite young at the time.
How old was Bianca when you married her?
She was 18 and I was 43. But she was very mature for her age. She knew the life she wanted, and I could give it to her. She was happy in our marriage, especially once our son came along.
Dziecko.
I realize it
fact.
is difficult to speak ill of the dead, but Bianca must have had some flaws. No one is perfect.
It is a good thing that I, myself, am a man who often has to say things no one wants to hear, because otherwise I would throw you out of the house for that impudence.
As you say, getting to the truth is not always pleasant.
She was a beautiful young woman. She had some insecurities. Never thought she was good enough, perfect enough. Perhaps I should be grateful for that. If she had been more confident, she might never have married me.
I appreciate your honesty, signore.
To nie
Bianca
jest
quit
fakt.
dancing after you were
Dodamy.
married?
Lecimy dalej.
Of course, it was hardly appropriate for the wife of a man in my position.
How old was Bianca when she had your son?
It was a year after our marriage. She was 19. Does that have some relevance?
We'll see.
Okej.
I must
Kolejny
ask you
ten.
about Bianca's murder.
Kolejny fakt.
If you must.
Do you know who killed Bianca?
No, she was a beautiful and gracious young woman. She had no enemies, nor do I.
Tell me about the night it happened.
I ostatnia.
Bianca wished to attend a concert.
Ostatnia kwestia.
She had a number
Na
of
razie.
musician friends from her student days.
No, ja się mało odzywam, ale
I
kurde, skupiam się na tym,
declined to
co
go
oni
with her.
mówią, nie? Bo
It was nothing
potem z tego
important,
trzeba
and
będzie
I preferred to get some work done. Now
wyciągnąć
I
jakieś
wish
wnioski.
I'd never allowed her to go out alone.
You couldn't possibly have known. It's not your fault.
Okej, no na razie głównie rozmawiamy na ten
I'm
temat, a te
afraid I
analizy są
must get
fajne.
back to work. In times of fiscal
To mi się naprawdę
crisis,
podoba.
one is not even allowed the solace of grief. You may stay and look around. I have told the staff that you are free to come and go. You'll find Bianca's bedroom through that door there. And before you ask, the house has plenty of rooms. Bianca liked having her own sanctuary. We were happily married.
I would be the last person to judge such an arrangement. Thank you for your time, Signor Cardolo.
Goodbye.
Oraz pierwszy, ja już mam dosyć z tej rozmowy. Przejdźmy do detektywistycznych rzeczy. Drzwi, depion. Kwiaty.
I don't think Signor Cardolo will miss this. White roses, traditional for funerals and weddings. Appropriate since both are equally tragic. I've no use for those cards. Sympathy cards for Bianca. That brings home the tragic aspect of all this, doesn't it?
No kwiaty już.
Sympathy cards for Bianca. That brings home the tragic aspect of all this, doesn't it?
To nie, jak nie chcesz mi tę, ale piankę. Idźmy do jej pokoju. No przestań ćpać. Co robisz? Wszyscy cię widzieli. To dzieci to mogą oglądać. Opie, biurko.
The desk is 19th century, Italian design.
W biurku na pewno są jakieś informacje, dzięki którym zaraz rozwiążę to.
They look like drawers, but they're decorative. They don't actually open. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting.
Świetnie. Zaraz będę.
Bianca's planner. It's open to the day she was murdered. She'd written in a concert for that evening, but there's nothing else relevant.
Biurko od klucz.
I recognize that. It's a key slot, probably for a secret drawer.
Klucza na razie nie mamy. Taśma z...
A small desk clock, worthless.
Gdzie coś? Tołek. Szafka nocna.
Nearly everything in this room matches. I prefer a more eclectic approach myself.
Następna szafka.
These overly large gloves are interesting. but I don't need to take them with me.
To się chociaż im przyjrzyj.
Gloves. This is quite an assortment. Not many women wear gloves these days. I wonder what Bianca saw in them. Interesting. This glove is quite large. It would fit my hand.
Okej. Okay. Wszystko. Jezu, co się stało? Czemu się... Dobra, już wiem. Już jak mi przejedzie na drugi monitor i kliknę, to... Dobra, jest jeszcze jedno miejsce. Antykwariat Barociego. Przejdźmy sobie tam.
Mr. Rector, it's a pleasure to see you. Welcome back to Venice.
Thank you, Signor Barozzi.
Did you come about the figurine? Let me know when you're ready to see it.
It looks like a collapsible pole. Perhaps a Venetian boat pole. Interesting piece.
Wiosło. Wiosło. Ten. Popłynę kanałem.
I'd like to take this boat pole. Can you put it on my account?
Of course.
Jak mi ktoś wyjaśni, jak on tam to schował.
This Venetian necklace looks similar to the one Signora Filoni wore in her younger days.
Właśnie tak mi się wydaje, że to z tego zdjęcia
I
mogę
think
kupić.
this one is worth a purchase. I'd like to buy this necklace.
Certainly. Let me get that for you. Shall I put it on your account?
Please.
There you are. You have a good eye, as always, Mr. Rector.
Dziwne zęby ma. A gdzie wiosło? Kurwa, straszne, dobra. Będziemy gadać. On chyba miał dla mnie
Signor
robotę.
Barozzi, might I have a word?
How can I help you, Mr. Rector?
How is the antique business in Venice these days?
How good can it be with this global recession? Italy is drowning in debt, and the protesters keep even the tourists away. In all
Porozmawiamy z nim
honesty,
sobie na
I
wszystkie
have never
możliwe
seen
tematy.
conditions so desperate.
Fortunately, there's always a market for luxury items. The rich get richer even in a downturn.
How can you say so? The EU is about to collapse. There are terrible days ahead for everyone.
I don't believe it's as bad as all that. The press love to fearmonger.
I am afraid it is that bad. Unless we can find some brilliant leadership to steer the world out of this mess, things look very black.
Well, I hope I am standing here in a year, and you can tell me you were wrong.
So do I.
Zapytajmy
Did
go
you know
Biankę.
Bianca Cardolo?
Why, yes. That is, I knew who she was. She even came into the shop one time. Her murder is incomprehensible.
I'm looking for information about her.
I didn't know her personally, but I'll tell you what I can. What do you want to know?
Wszystko.
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's family.
Well, you know I love Italian history. Her father, Signor Antonio Savoy, is from two of the most noble Italian families, the Savoys and the Capetians. The Savoys, as you know, were the royal family in Italy up until
trochę
World War
potrwa.
II.
Interesting.
Ja, nawet... O, nowy
Tell me
fakt.
about Bianca
Zajebiście, bo
Cardolo's
jest
husband.
13 już.
Dante
Tyle nazbierałem,
Cardolo.
że
You know, he is from the
Na pewno
Capetian family, just like Bianca's father.
będę mógł dać tej
But they
typesce
are
zaraz ten
distant
naszyjnik.
cousins. He was very popular in Venice. He could have gone far in politics, but his support of the EU at any cost has the common people very angry. Only time will tell if his political career survives. If indeed Italy survives.
Thank you for the information.
Dziękuję.
Was Bianca
Kolejny fakt
Cardolo
dodany,
wealthy?
zajebiście.
Oh yes. Both her birth family and her husband's family are extremely wealthy. There's no doubt about that.
I see.
It's none of my business, but why are you interested in Bianca Cardolo?
Her story caught my eye, that's all.
I can't blame you. It is a terrible thing. Oh, Mr. Rector, such a crime does nothing to help the city's morale. We could all use some good news, eh?
If you learn anything new about Bianca Cardolo, please contact me.
Absolutely. I would be happy to.
Super, mamy wtyka.
I'd like to see the figurine
nowy
you
fakt.
mentioned in your letter.
See. Here it is. Take all the time you need. I hope you'll find it to your liking. I know your taste is excellent.
We'll see. That's all for now. Thank you.
As you wish.
Okej. I w tym momencie przestań ćpać, no odcinek trwa, poczekaj aż się skończy. W tym momencie skończymy sobie odcinek, ja mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało. Jeśli chcecie się dowiedzieć więcej rzeczy o Biance Cardolo, czy może o kim innym, czy o tej figurce nawet, bo raz ją analizował, to zapraszam do kolejnego odcinka, a na razie to wszystko, cześć.